Thank you very much for taking the time to join us online today. We had a very successful session this morning, face-to-face in Brisbane. A lot of people showed up there, had some great conversations with suppliers too. Sorry we can't have everyone's cameras on and mics on today with literally potentially hundreds of people dialing in. It can get a bit messy, but there's some very easy communication channels through our website. If you just click on About Us and you'll see our contact page. You'll see all of our general contact details there. And also in the bottom left of our website, that's localbuy.net.au, we actually have a new chat function. It's not a robot. It's actually our customer service team that responds to that chat. That's often your fastest way of a response. So if you've got anything you need to communicate with us about, those general contact details on the website and that chat function are a handy feature. All right, without further ado, let's get on with today's session. So this is a supplier induction session. The purpose of this session is to generally speak to existing suppliers, hopefully predominantly new suppliers to LocalBuy. You've recently been appointed, you've been successful in completing your tender, and it's a bit of the what now sort of phase. So hopefully we can answer some of your the questions you may have or don't even know you have before we done today. And the first, well, let's do that. This is normally for our face-to-face session online. Not sure where you are around the country, but certainly want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we're all on today, respecting the lands, waters that give us life, into which the songlines, stories, ancestors and dreamings of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are woven. We pay respect to all First Nations people and elders past, present and emerging. Our engagement team. I'm Jeremy Walker. I'm part of the engagement team. We basically have 3 senior engagement managers looking after different territories of councils. Liz McFarlane looks after predominantly the southeast corner of Queensland and all those councils as a key engagement representative. Audrey Dobell looks after the north. She's based in Cairns, and I look after Central Queensland and South Western Queensland as a general contact for councils. We also have category managers. If you dialed in earlier, you'd know that I'm in the room today with Michael Fransman, one of our category managers. These are our subject matter experts in relation to the different categories of procurement that we cover, and they are very much focused on our arrangements, more specifically than the councils. Very helpful bunch of people. This isn't all there is in LocalBuy. We actually have a team of about 25 staff across contract management and legal and other marketing and other parts of the business. But I guess the category management team and the engagement team are really the front line, and certainly happy to help. All right, so what we'll be basically covering in today's session, we want to make sure that you've got all the right foundational knowledge. Can I just get a few thumbs ups if you can hear me? I've just got someone saying they can't hear us. If you can hear me, can you give me a thumbs up? Yep. Okay, all right, so for most people, it seems to be working. Thank you for that. So we'll be covering today who is LocalBuy. Just want to make sure that there's no foundational knowledge that's missing. Basically, look at our buyers. There actually might be a few buyers that may come as a surprise to you. You might be thinking we're just Queensland local government, but there's actually more to the story there. The benefits of being a LocalBuy pre-qualified supplier, we'll go through those, look at reporting and contractual obligations, look at marketing your business as a pre-qualified supplier, and also just making sure that your profile is on point for your business. So who is Local Buy? We're part of the Local Government Association of Queensland. We're a separate entity, but fully owned by the Local Government Association of Queensland. We were instigated by them back in 2001 to help alleviate some of the pressures around procurement for local councils in Queensland, particularly in relation to the local government regulations. More recently, we've also partnered with the Local Government Association of the Northern Territory to provide their councils with the same service. They don't have the procurement solution that is Local Buy in the Northern Territory, so we've come to an arrangement where they lean on the Local Buy solution for Queensland councils as well. So if you've got any interest in supplying to Northern Territory councils, there could well be an open door for you there now that you're a Local Buy supplier. I mentioned the regulations briefly before as to one of the reasons why Local Buy exists. And I won't go into all of it today, but just the key features, and that being the various thresholds, procurement thresholds that are noted in the regulations that councils have to be aware of when they're procuring. Now, keep in mind these are legislative requirements. These set the boundaries, the limitations. Councils may well have other procurement policies that are different to these, but these are the minimum standards. So for anything between 21,000 and 280,000, that's considered in local government in Queensland as a medium-sized contract or medium-sized supply for goods and services. It's important to understand that this isn't just about one-off purchases. This can be measured as an accumulative amount of spend over a contract period or a financial year. So councils need to keep that in mind when they're procuring as to the potential total value of that procurement. So for medium contracts in Queensland, the minimum standard is obtaining 3 written quotes. For large contracts over 280,000, the council must perform an open market tender. So a public tender. For either of these options, there's a fair bit involved for the council to qualify suppliers, make sure they've got all copies of the relevant documentation, and of course the selection process as well. For tenders, they've got to be open in the market for 21 days before they can even start evaluating. They can't control the number of responses they get from an open market tender, and they have to evaluate every single response that comes through. So it can be quite a time-consuming process. In the Northern Territory, their regulations are a little bit different to Queensland, but the concept is very much the same. So between $10,000 and $100,000 in spend, they need at least 3 quotes as a minimum standard. Between 100,000 and 150,000, councils must make a public request for quotes. And over 150,000 as a minimum, a council must obtain written tenders. So it's a full tender process there. There's also underpinning all of this, what the Queensland Audit Office and the like in the Northern Territory is looking for when a council goes to market, how they've sourced supply, is that they can demonstrate that they've applied sound contracting principles. There's 5 of those. There's value for money, open and effective competition, development of competitive local business, environmental protection, and ethical behaviour and fair dealing. Now, the heading here says using Local Buy equals no tenders. That's not 100% accurate. As you know, to become a Local Buy supplier, you need to complete a tender. What this really means is that for a council, there is no need to tender where we have a Local Buy arrangement in place with pre-qualified suppliers. What they can do, and there's an exception in the Queensland regulations under section 234, which allows a council to effectively outsource a bulk of the procurement process to their local government association, and we are that solution. So yes, we go to market and tender on behalf of Queensland councils and the rest of our buyers. We qualify the suppliers, we gather your documentation, and we also have a default set of terms and conditions that you've agreed to through that process that a council can pick up and run with as a default contract to engage you, therefore making a very efficient procurement option for councils and for you suppliers. It's a more efficient process for you also because the tenders happened ahead of time and the process is reduced to a simple request for quote method where a council can look at the pre-qualified local buy suppliers. They've all been sourced by public tender. They've all got default conditions they've agreed to. They've been pre-qualified and they can start applying their evaluation method and parameters to our lists. Go to market for just the suppliers that are relevant or align with what they're after. And they can be awarding work in a matter of days rather than weeks or months, which is helpful for you too. And a lot of the heavier legwork of the tender process has already happened. So who else can use local buy arrangements? We've talked about Northern Territory councils, Queensland councils, any local government entities are at liberty to use us. But we'll also see some work come through from Queensland state government, federal government departments also. Now, they often have their own relevant arrangements that they'll lean on for procurement, but there are occasions where their arrangements just don't provide the solutions that local buyers arrangements do, and they may well choose to use our arrangements and our suppliers in certain circumstances. Also, regional organisations of councils, essentially that's clusters of Queensland councils form their own entities, and they can essentially procure as a collective potentially through their regional organisations. Government statutory bodies and authorities, government-owned corporations, water and port authorities, charities, not-for-profits, schools, universities, and even some other councils in other states. You occasionally will see some Tasmanian councils procure through local buy, and even South Australia I've seen too, and some others. So how is the whole concept tracking? Well, since 2001, there's been a pretty obvious upward trajectory over the years in terms of the amount of spend that has been going through local buy arrangements. We passed a significant milestone last financial year. We cracked the $1 billion in spend mark. And we're now up to over 850 individual buyers across 541 buying organisations, and these numbers just continue to grow, and they've grown again this year also. Now, the way that we are different, especially in this local government sector, is just how frequently we go to market to refresh our supplier lists. That's of real benefit to councils. If you've worked with councils previously, they may well have their own arrangements on some fronts. Their arrangements will often have expiry dates of a number of years, and that's a number of years before they're actually going to go to market again and re-tender. In the meantime, there might be other businesses that are moving to their local government area. There might be new products or services on the market. Ideally, a council would love to be going to market as frequently as we do, which is every 3 months, to refresh our supplier lists and our pre-qualified suppliers. So that's of great benefit, and a reason why councils will lean on the local buy supplier list, knowing that they're refreshed as frequently as they are, to make sure they're not missing anything that's evolving in that space. So it's a 3-month process. We're open in the market for about a month. Evaluations take about a month, and then appointments to the local buy pre-qualified supplier lists take about another month. So if you're thinking about applying for another arrangement, or if you know anyone else, we are open in the month of May. You've got until 2 o'clock on Friday to respond to our current tenders. Otherwise, we'll open again in August and November and then February. So you may well be at the stage of the process whereby we're requesting these 3 things next, and you will not be appointed to a local buy supplier list until these last 3 stages are done. So check your inbox, make sure nothing's going to junk mail or spam folders or anything like that, you should have received an invoice for a verification fee payment, and also an invitation to Unimarket or Vendor Panel, as you may know it. It's actually one and the same business. The two companies have come together. Officially, everything's becoming Unimarket, but anyone in the local government sector you speak to may well still refer to it as Vendor Panel. But you need to accept that invitation, and you also need to upload your relevant documents to Vendor Panel. Once those steps are complete, that's when we can activate you on those supplier lists for councils to access, and all of our other buyers to view and access and send requests. So ways to be engaged. Typically, it will be through Vendor Panel. If you're working with state government in Queensland or local government in Queensland, Unimarket or Vendor Panel is the system that is predominantly used. You can, however, be approached outside of this program also. So the council or a buyer could come to you direct via email with a request for quote, or send a direct purchase order. Now, it is important, actually, on that last point that what the council or the buyer should be doing is making it very clear that the way they're wanting to engage you is via a local buy arrangement and not by some other means. And they should be quoting the local buy arrangement number, at least, if not the name and the number of the local buy arrangement, when they are requesting quotes and when they're sending you a purchase order. Now, if the request is coming through Vendor Panel, it will be very clear that they're using a local buy list and going to market with local buy suppliers. So really, just the bigger questions come when you get direct requests from outside of Vendor Panel. If you're not sure, just ask the person who's sent the request whether or not it's through a local buy arrangement. That's important for a number of reasons. One is the contract management fee associated with awarded work. You want to know if that's something to consider, but also the conditions of contract. So if it is a local buy arrangement and the council hasn't provided any other form of contract, the default conditions of contract will be at play. If they're procuring from outside of the local buy arrangements, then you've got to next ask, what are the contractual terms and conditions of this engagement? So really important to know whether or not it's through local buy. So Vendor Panel or Unimarket is really a place where you set up a business profile, and it's your opportunity to promote your business to buyers within council. This is where they do their supplier research. So really important to have up-to-date contact details, a really sharp business description that gives them confidence in including you in a group of suppliers for a request. So keep it punchy, not War and Peace, but absolutely, if you've worked with other councils or government projects or any significant buying organisations, list them there. Anything that's going to give them confidence in including you. It's also where you respond to requests for quotes. So you'll get notifications from Vendor Panel if you've been included in a request from a buyer. You need to log into Vendor Panel, open the request and respond to it within Vendor Panel. On that point, make sure you do respond as well. Very important to show that you're alive and kicking, even if it's not relevant or you can't deliver in the time frame because you've got too much other work on. Make sure you let them know and let them know that you're keen for further opportunities. Ask the purchaser question. This is an open door to someone who is a procurement lead with our buyers. So they're rare, those open opportunities for communication. So take advantage of this. There is a person on the other end that's going to see who's asking questions. It's even by asking questions, it may well be a way of presenting the value and the ways in which you can help councils further. But keep those open door opportunities in mind whenever you get a request to really leave a mark on whoever's procuring. The worst thing you can do is just do nothing and let the requests fly through with no response whatsoever from you. If they get too many of those, you might drop off their preferred supplier list. Yeah, make sure they're aware that you're grateful. Also, the way you receive requests, successful notifications is through vendor panel as well. So make sure your vendor panel emails are not going to junk mail or spam as well. Make sure they're open channels of communication. Make sure your contact details are direct. It seems like a no-brainer, but have a look at who you've got as your contacts on your business profile in vendor panel. You can include more than just the one. I often suggest that you include a generic email address that's going to go to a shared inbox. So if someone's away on holidays or leaves the business or what have you, that you're not caught in a situation where you're not receiving requests, that you're actually in the dark about what activities and opportunities are happening. So upload your company logo. A lot of people do remember logos more than business names when they're looking for familiar companies. So make sure you do that to help our buyers remember you and recognise you. As I've said, add your colleagues to the system. Anyone that you want to be able to see those requests coming through. Also, make sure that the details in your business profile are up to date and accurate. As time goes on, you might evolve in your service and product offerings, or even just a record of major clients you've worked with. You might want to update that as well. Make sure your insurance documents are kept up to date, so they're uploaded to vendor panel. If they expire, they get a little orange flag next to them. It's not a good look if a council's researching suppliers and your documentation isn't up to date. They've got an obligation to make sure they've got copies of your insurances and the like. And so just another way to give them confidence in you as a supplier is to make sure that the moment those documents are expiring, that they're replaced with the latest up-to-date records. So how to market your business as a pre-qualified local buy supplier. First step, you want to be across the communication channels of councils. It's very hard to market to a lot of councils. They don't really open the doors up for that very often. Occasionally they'll have public events, invitations to supplier engagement events or working with council events, or meet the buyer events. They're called all different things across the state, but and May is actually a strong month for these types of events because the state government funds initiatives to help small businesses across the state, and councils will often apply for that funding to help support their own events. So look out for those. A way of following your council, well, look at the contact us page in your councils. If they're on LinkedIn, which I think pretty much all of them are, any other social media channels, make sure you're subscribing to those if you've got target councils in mind. Make sure you're across their procurement web pages as well, or working with council web pages. A lot of them will have their procurement policies. Some of the bigger councils may even have a forward procurement plan advertised. They'll also have a register of contracts over 200,000, which by law they have to publish. So you'll see past works as well, and which suppliers have been awarded work, kind of figure out who your competition is. Potentially, there's a lot of insights in council meetings as well. I'd suggest you have a look at. Some councils, in fact, have policies, procurement policies, whereby over certain values of procurement, the council actually has to approve the project, approve the purchase before the council can go to market. So you can find out all of these things ahead of time and be on the front foot if you keep an eye on the council meeting minutes. which are monthly generally. Some councils even live stream their regular meetings. If you're really keen, you can dial in and watch. Now, as I keep saying, keep your profile up to date. Build and develop relationships. So there's still humans on the other side. If you've got connections already, ask for referrals, ask for other work, but you need to take advantage again of those open doors. If you are awarded work, follow up with the people who engaged you, get feedback, again, ask for referrals. It's a small world in council. They probably do know other people in other councils that could be interested in your goods or services. Attend industry events. The industry events that we attend, if you're not sure which industry events you should be going to, keep an eye on our events calendar, and you'll see the events we're engaged with. You'll see all of our events as well. But organisations like Local Government Association of Queensland, Local Government Management Association, Local Government Finance Professionals Association. There's IPWIA, which is the Association for Public Works Engineers. So to name a few, this is where a lot of council representatives show up. While it may not be directed as you as a supplier, there could well be sponsorship opportunities as a way of getting in the door of some of these events. Get involved with the community and make sure the councils know they've got a remit to be working with local wherever possible and supporting their own local economic development. So if there's ways that you're contributing to the local community and work that you're doing there, or people you're employing there, or if you've got an office there, make it very, very clear. That could give you an extra little bit over your competitors if you can demonstrate how you're involved with their local government area. And target neighbouring councils. So you might have a target council in mind. It might be your own council where you're based. Now, don't know where you're dialing in from today, but there may or may not be much competition in your local government area. Think about surrounding council, local government areas as well. How much competition is there? If they can't find a supplier within their local government area, from an economic development perspective, their next best option is to find a supplier in the surrounding local government areas as well. So definitely worth looking at there. Some of the other lower hanging fruit in the local government sector is the more remote councils with lower populations where they are not spoilt for choice when it comes to choice of suppliers. They may well have no choice but to go outside of their local government area. In fact, there might not even be options in the surrounding local government areas. So they might be in a position where they don't really care who they're procuring or where they're procuring from. They just need the right solution. And so definitely make yourself known. If you've got the appetite for working with remote councils, I'm sure they'd love to hear from you, because quite often the challenge for them is actually getting people to respond to their requests, finding people that are willing to work with them. So keep that in mind also. Reporting. So there is a requirement to report each month by the 21st. This is a report of work awarded, basically activity through the local buy arrangements. So whether or not you've been awarded work, you still need to report. You will receive a prompt, a reminder on your first report. So just rest assured, we'll send you a prompt to complete that. If you've got any questions about reporting, to get the most efficient answers, go direct to finance@localbuy.net.au. If you're trying to scribble this down, don't stress too much. We will send you a copy of the presentation today, as well as a link to a resource page. So don't stress about all these details. I should have said that up front. You will get copies of these slides. If you're wanting to find the reporting portal online, you can find it via our website, localbuy.net.au. In the top right-hand corner of the page, you'll find our reporting portal. So important documents. Hopefully you've already seen these, but I understand it could have been someone else that completed the tender application on behalf of your business. If you're not already familiar with these documents, go back to the person who's been who did your application and get a copy of these. If you have any trouble getting your hands on these documents, let us know, but you should already have these. But general conditions of contract, the purchaser conditions of contract, and the specifications are what makes up the default contract. So if a council references our local buy arrangement when they're engaging you, if they have not replaced our contracts with their own or supplemented them in some way, the entire contract is found here. This is the default contract, so it's really important to understand all of the terms and conditions by which you're being engaged. Supplier code of conduct also forms part of your contractual agreement with local buy, and if you are breaching the code of conduct, you're certainly at risk of being deleted as a local buy supplier, to put it bluntly. So you will not retain your local buy status if you breach our code of conduct. So make sure you're familiar with that as well. The code covers ethical corporate governance, social expectations, supply chain, environment, breaches of the code, and dispute resolution. Our marketing. So what does local buy do to promote the local buy arrangements? Well, we have our own social media pages that you should probably follow. LinkedIn is probably our main one, but if we're putting out anything on social media, you'll absolutely see it on LinkedIn. So if you want to be across all of our public communications through these channels, follow us on LinkedIn. We also have a monthly newsletter that goes out to councils and suppliers, and you'll just have a bit of an update on what we've been doing in terms of engagement. We'll also be talking about any relevant new legislations or arrangement developments, and anything else to do with efficient procurement. So some interesting insights to stay on top of there. On that, we do often feature a supplier in the local buy news. So if you have been awarded work through a local buy arrangement and you view it as a bit of a good news story for you, the supplier, the council, and for local buy, let us know. It helps us promote local buy, it helps promote the whole solution, and it's a great way of getting your business name out there in that as we highlight those good news stories. So keep that in mind also. We have regular communication with council staff. So through our category managers, through the engagement team, we're constantly fielding inquiry. So we've got a lot of inbound inquiry that we handle with councils. So we're in contact with councils that way, but we also see up proactive engagements as well. So that's happening on a regular basis from our end. We provide you with a verification certificate. So if you are notifying a potential buyer that you are now on local buy, again, to give them confidence, you can include this as an attachment to verify that you are a pre-qualified local buy supplier. We offer educational webinars and tutorials, not just to suppliers like this one, but we actually have online presentations for councils also regarding local buy and vendor panel usage and the like. So we're active in that space. We've got a full dedicated engagement team, as mentioned. We also have our own conferences and summits from time to time. Now, they are geared at councils, so they may well be closed to only people from councils as attendees, but there's generally sponsorship opportunities there which can get you in the door. So keep an eye out for those. You also have local buy approved supplier badging and vendor panel and exposure on the local buy website and on Unimarket. In fact, local buy pays for the Unimarket licensing fees for councils in Queensland. So when they log in, they actually have a local buy logo as a bit of promotion there as well. Dedicated engagement team to support your business. So that's essentially what what we are. Things to do next. So just really to reiterate things we've already mentioned, make sure your business profile is on point. Also, you might want to add the local buy logo to your sales material, your business cards, email signatures, websites, LinkedIn posts, or what have you. You can absolutely do that, and we'll send you a link to a resource page in about a week's time, along with a copy of everything from today's session. Strongly recommend that you create some form of internal system for tracking your local buy activity. So the work that's been awarded through a local buy arrangement, you might have multiple stakeholders at your end handling opportunities. If you just have the one register of local buy activity, awarded work particularly, that's going to help you in a big way when it comes to just submitting your monthly reporting. So something to think about there, how you might do that in the best way for yourselves. Understand your monthly reporting obligations, submit your returns on time, and read the code of conduct. So I mentioned a resource page. We're going to send you this link. Again, take the time to look at this. This is where you'll find your marketing assets. See if I can open it here. Is that showing on your side, Michael? Can you see our page or not? Can you see our website? No. Okay, bear with me. I'll show you this very quickly. How's that? Is that good, Michael? Great. So this is the resource page we're going to send you a link to. I'm not going to go through all of this today, but make sure you do. We've got little buttons on the right here as well. That's where you find your logo and marketing assets. You get the presentation there. There's all sorts of things in here that are worth exploring, including the webinar video. So make yourself familiar with this page. Have a look at everything that's in here. Explore it all. There's some very helpful bits and pieces there. Let's bounce back to the presentation. Got the presentation, Michael? Yeah, great. Thank you. Working. Here we are. And just some final things to remember. If it's not clear when you're getting a request as to whether or not it's through local buy, just ask. Promote that you are a pre-qualified supplier. Any means you can in terms of communication, but absolutely on social media. Now, I would also say that if you come across a buyer who's not familiar with local buy and you think they should be because they work for a council in Queensland, for example, please let us know. There's staff turnover all the time in councils, and they're often recruiting people from outside of local government. It's one of our biggest challenges. It's keeping on top of who's who in the zoo across Queensland councils. If you can help us out by letting us know, introduce them to us, we're happy to do the education and get them up to speed on local buy. So please keep that in mind. If your company details change, if you have turnover of staff and you want to update contacts, or maybe you've acquired another business and you've got another APN, whatever the story is, let us know so that we can help update things with you and make sure those communication channels are open. Keep an eye out for our monthly newsletter. Create a marketing plan for how your business is going to engage with potential buyers, and essentially how you're going to maximise being a local buy supplier. Read and respond to RFQs as they come through, requests for quotes, that is. And I think, almost the end of the presentation. I mentioned events earlier. Keep an eye on our events page for upcoming events, both local buy and with other partnering organisations. That could be a good lead for you. That brings us to the end of the presentation. So as mentioned earlier, all of our general contact details are on our website, our contacts page, and we do have the chat function in the bottom left should you ever need any assistance. Our direct contact details are found under About Us as well. If you look at our team, on the website. You'll see a profile for the category managers, the engagement managers, and all of our direct contact details also. I'll pause there and just see how we're going. Michael, is there anything we need to respond to?
Yeah, a few questions. I've got to most of them. A lot of people are asking, they're still showing as not yet approved in vendor panel. Obviously, contracts team are working their way through that, and once all the compliances are approved and finalised, rate cards have been uploaded, departures finalised, and fees paid, they will switch that on, and then you should be showing as visible in vendor panel. Vendor panel and Unimarket are one and the same. Unimarket have taken over vendor panel recently. So they are gradually changing the branding over. What else? Do you still need to submit nil returns? Yes, even if you've got no work during the month, you still need to log on to the portal on the website and submit a nil return. It doesn't take long. You should be sent an email with an access password prior to the next reporting round going out, which will be next month. So that won't come straight away, but you will receive that by the beginning of next month. So we got in there. Question about exemptions. If you have applied for